Hi, my name's Charlotte Geeson. I'm Head of Employment Law and Business Immigration at Howarths, and this is a quick update regarding the flexible furlough scheme. So on Friday night, around 10 p.m, HMRC released some details regarding the flexible furlough scheme, which starts on the 1st of July. Now, under this scheme, employers no longer need to avoid doing any work in order for their employer to make a successful grant claim under the job retention scheme for furlough pay, but they can work now for some of the week and be furloughed for the rest in proportions to be decided between an employer and an employee. HMRC released the details of the flexible furlough scheme by making updates to the existing employer guidance on the CJRS and by issuing 3 brand new pieces of guidance as well. All of the updates and all of the new guidance is accessible via the gov.uk website, and employers who intend to rely on the flexible furlough scheme come July will need to read through all of the guidance really carefully to make sure that they are able to claim for the employees whom they are wanting to make a claim for, and also for details of exactly how to claim and what information HMRC are now going to want from you in order to process any future claims. There are some new requirements being placed on employers, and like I say, you need to read the guidance to understand exactly what your obligations are. But in very general terms, under the flexible furlough scheme, employers will be able to claim a prorated amount of 80% of an employee's salary based on the proportion of hours not worked out of that employee's normal working hours. To calculate the normal working hours for those with fixed hours and fixed pay, it's pretty simple. You just take the number of hours which were worked in the pay period prior to the 19th of March. To calculate the normal working hours for those with variable pay, then you take the higher of either the average number of hours worked in the tax year 2019 to 2020, or the corresponding calendar period in the tax year 2019 to 2020. A little bit confusing, but in order to assist employers, HMRC have included in their updated guidance some worked examples of the calculations, which may prove useful to some of you. Remember that from the 1st of August, the level of the grant will be reduced each month, and in order to be eligible for the grant, employers must pay furloughed employees at least 80% of their wages, up to the cap of £2,500 a month. And that must be paid for all the time that they are furloughed, even under the flexible furlough scheme. Wage caps obviously are proportional to the number of hours which the employee is furloughed. So, for example, an employee will be entitled to 60% of the £2,500 cap if they are placed on furlough for 60% of their usual hours. Just by way of summary, in terms of how the furlough scheme is going to run between now and its end in October, there are not going to be any changes to the grant levels for the rest of this month. So for the rest of June, it's 80%, £2,500 cap, as it's been since the start. For this month and for July, the employer will also receive the benefit of payment of national insurance contributions and pension contributions for the number of hours that the employee is on furlough. If an employer wants to make use of a flexible furlough scheme, however, employers are going to have to pay employees for any hours that they work, and they're going to have to pay those employees in full for those hours. In August, the government will pay 80% of wages up to a cap of £2,500 for the hours an employee is on furlough, and employers will pay employer national insurance contributions and pension contributions for the hours that the employee is on furlough. From September, the level of the grant claim drops to 70% of wages, and the cap reduces proportionately to £2,187.50 for the hours that the employee is on furlough. Employers will be obliged to pay the employer national insurance and pension contributions, and also to top up the employees' wages to ensure that they receive 80% of their wages, again up to that cap of £2,500 for any time that they're furloughed. In October, the percentage rate drops to 60% and the cap drops to £1,875 for the hours that the employee is on furlough. Again, employers will be obliged to pay the national insurance contributions and pension contributions, and they'll still have to top the employee's wages up to that 80% £2,500 cap for any time on furlough. Employers will continue to be able to choose to top up employee wages above that 80% total and £2,000 cap for the hours not worked at their own expense if they wish. There's obviously no obligation on you to do that, but if you choose to, that's absolutely fine, and I can't see any of your employees complaining about any decision in that respect. Moving away from the calculation side of things, from the 1st of July, HMRC have confirmed that the most significant change that we'll see with the furlough scheme is that the minimum 3-week furlough period will be removed. This is with effect from the 1st of July, and from this date there will no longer be a minimum period for which someone must be furloughed under the scheme in order for a successful grant claim to be made. Any claim through the job retention scheme, however, must be made in respect of a minimum 1-week period, and employees who were furloughed prior to the 1st of July must still be furloughed for at least 3 weeks in order for a successful claim to be made, even if that 3-week period takes them past the 1st of July. Some other headline points for employers to be aware following the release of the information on Friday by HMRC are as follows. There is a requirement, as there has been with the sort of normal furlough scheme, for any flexible working arrangement to be agreed and recorded in writing. We will be looking at preparing some template documentation for use in that regard in due course, so please do feel free to contact us if you need any support in that respect. Employees can be flexibly furloughed more than once, which is good news. So that means that an employee can be flexibly furloughed for a period of time, then they might be put back on full furlough, provided they're eligible for that to take place, or they might be brought back into work full time. So this new flexible furlough scheme really does do what it says on the tin. It offers employers a much greater amount of flexibility in order to hopefully start turning the corner when it comes to business operations. From the 1st of July, employer claims under the job retention scheme cannot exceed the maximum number of employee claims that they made prior to the 30th of June. So just watch your numbers, essentially, when it comes to claims post 1st of July. Cross-calendar month claims won't be permitted after the 1st of July, and employers furloughing over 100 staff will have to submit extra details to HMRC through the job retention scheme portal when they're making their claims. As aforementioned, from the 1st of July, full furlough will still be permitted, provided that your employees are indeed eligible for that. And any claims under the job retention scheme for July can't be made until the 1st of July. So again, just bear that in mind if your payroll periods perhaps straddle 2 calendar months. As I say, I'd strongly recommend that you take a look at the gov.uk website for all of HMRC's latest updates. But of course, if you would like to discuss the ins and outs of the flexible furlough scheme and how to use this to your advantage, then by all means, please feel free to contact us at any time. You know where we are. Telephone number is 01274 864 999. I think that's it for now from me, but we'll see you very soon. Take care.